Okay, questions, guys?
Coach, we're going to start off with Jerry and the post-game radio show.
Coach, thanks for spending some time with us as always. It's a rivalry game. I guess that's the first thing I gotta say. These games are just hard to play because everybody puts their best foot forward, especially when you're on the road.
Yeah, well, we got a finished game. We didn't finish it, but, like we'll always tell our players, we take all these things together, wins and losses. Got to coach it better. Got to play it better together. And have a chance to close out, a couple chances to close it. So credit to them as well. They deserve it.
Coach, couple of turnovers, 3 in total, but 2 again. Finding it tough to take the ball away, and Oregon State got a couple of extra chances. Turnovers have been a bugaboo this year, haven't they?
They sure have. They sure have. And it's something that's not very uncharacteristic of our football team, the way we do things. But only way to fix it is to work at it and get better.
Tyler Shuck, really pretty good ball game, 21 of 35, I think, but he's still a young man that's still learning the game. 2 picks tonight. He's got to kind of probably learn from those situations, doesn't he?
He does. He's a really good player, and he plays with a lot of guts and a lot of confidence, and he's aggressive as well. So, but again, that's the way we coach our guys, to be aggressive. Sometimes we'll make an error. Sometimes we'll make a really big play, and there was a little bit of both of that tonight.
This is a ball game when you needed to take advantage of opportunities, and in the second half, the momentum kind of swung, and you needed to get a couple of stops, and then conversely, you needed to get a couple of first downs. You just could not get the momentum back in your swing.
Agreed. Agreed. We should have never. The defense was fighting, hard, had made some corrections, and was having, had success on certain drives, and we had a chance at the end there to get a first down. And really in the football game. Short run on first down, second one, they squeezed scrape, really good job by them. Quarterback kept it. They tackled us, and on third down, an incomplete pass. So, not much time taken off the clock, and they went down there and 4th and 1, found a way to get it done.
Kind of a strange end to a ball game too. Coach, you've coached against some really great running backs. Jamar Jefferson was the real deal. He's pretty talented, huh?
He's a good football player. He ran really well tonight, and they blocked well for him.
This is one, you put behind you. This has been a strange season in a rivalry game with no fans and just the whole atmosphere around it. How do you bounce back? How do you just go right back to, the rhythm that you've built and that pattern that you have? That's what you try to focus on now and try not to let this one beat you twice, as they say? Well,
I don't think you lean on any kind of excuse. We could talk about the pandemic and all the other stuff. We can't. We got to. Bottom line is there has to be improvement in everything we do. You mentioned turnovers. We got to coach that better. We got to give our guys a chance to make plays and do things that because they competed. They competed to the very end, and told them that's something that real deal competitors will let this sit in there and burn and drive you and pull a team together. That's the only kind of guys that we can have in this organization. And that's the expectation. The expectation is to come in and get ready to improve and get prepared for our game next week.
As strange as this season has been, there's still a whole lot of this season left, so you focus on the next one on the road next week. So I know you'll be preparing for that. A lot of folks with questions for you on this one. Tough loss on the road, but always appreciate the effort, and thanks for spending some time with me.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Let's start with James Crapia from the Oregonian.
Mario, any consideration once they got goal to go there in the final minute of letting them score to preserve more clock?
No, sir.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
The drive before that, it felt like there was a lot of momentum shifting in your direction there on that 4th down stop you had, and then to not get the first down, kind of what was the mood on the sideline after that sequence?
Well, the mood, everyone kept wanting to compete and fight, but certainly very important, 4th down stop, and, we go 3 and out and gave them the ball in really good field position. So certainly we got to finish off the game. That's the bottom line. There's no way to can't sugarcoat that in any way, shape, or form, right? That's how you have to win football games. We didn't get it done, but I'm not pointing at the players, I'm pointing at ourselves.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Second week in a row, an opponent has been able to run the
We can't hear you, Matt. We can't hear you. Let's move on to James Crapia, the Oregonian.
Mario, as good as Jamar is, and he's been excellent all year, you knew you had to stop him. What was it that allowed him to have such a prolific night?
Popped some big runs, popped that big one early. Felt there were moments where he had him bottled up, and then he does a really good job writing and reading and being patient with his blocks. Really good football player, have a good scheme, and they made some plays.
Kevin Wade, 247 Sports.
CJ was last in the game early in the third quarter. Was he just unavailable, or were you guys just going with Travis?
He was unavailable.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Obviously, you went with Henry this week from a kicking perspective. Talk about that competition and kind of at least he split the uprights there. What did you see from him tonight?
He had done well in practice. Those guys have been competing, going back and forth. Henry has always been a really good teammate, really good competitor. And then tonight, his extra points were good. His field goal was good. And at the end, we're going to put him in there if it was time to kick a field goal. So, sounds like he had a pretty decent night.
James.
Mario, also some other personnel. Didn't see Nick Pickett very much in the second half, if at all. Jamal Hill obviously wasn't here today, and Micah was here but didn't participate. Can you just give a rundown on Mike and Jamal's status, Dante Manning as well, and why we didn't see Pickett as much?
Yeah, Jamal will be back next week. He wasn't available due to a minor injury. Pickett got nicked up in the game and was not available. Micah just became available yesterday, so his role was going to be very limited, if anything. And at the end, we had an injury there, so he popped in. I think you mentioned CJ. CJ was unavailable due to a first half issue.
Ryan Thorburn, redshirt.
Mario, did you feel like the team was ready in terms of taking this rivalry, the intensity that you wanted there, and it was just a lack of execution? How did you kind of feel like the team approached it compared to Oregon State's excitement for the game?
I do. I felt that we had one of our better weeks of practice. I felt that they were dialed in. I felt everything leading up. The kickoff and responding to certain situations were good and had a chance to take the momentum, went up by 11, but we didn't maintain the momentum. So I think we're fully aware and understand the importance of this rivalry, and this one goes to them, and we'll see them in 365 days.
James.
Mario, as somber as you are, and I'm sure as the players are, how do you refocus? Because this is not the final game of the season this year. There are still 2 games, and there's been rampant cancellations and things across. Your goals, at least for a conference championship, are still alive. How do you go about addressing that and flipping the switch back to the bigger goals and the bigger picture?
Well, that switch was flipped inside there, both by addressing the team and by the players themselves. We understand that, they want to ride with people that want to improve and get better, and I think they're all on the same page. We had played some close games this year, and we had played some good football and some not so good football. And today, we didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. We fully understand the picture as it relates to the conference, but for us, it's always about 1-0, and that's why the combination of the game itself, not being able to finish it when we had opportunities, the fact that it's the rivalry that it is, all that stuff, of course, extremely, one that needs to sting, needs to hurt, and needs to be used as fuel.
Eric.
Tyler's second interception was pretty costly. Felt like a momentum shifting possession and play there. What did you see on that play, and kind of when he gets to the sideline, how did he kind of handle himself? Did he seem to comport himself pretty well?
He does. He's resilient. Then the corner fell off of the post and was able to fall back on the corner route. That's what it looked like. We'll have to see it again on film, but he certainly now Tyler he doesn't flinch much at all. He takes hard coaching. He takes tough situations, bounces back from bad plays. I mean, he's tough. He's tough and resilient, real good football player, good teammate.
Tyson Alger, The Athletic.
What was visibility like for you guys down there? Just from our perspective up here in that second and third quarter, you could barely see anything.
You know, on the field, you know, when you look across the field, it might look a little blurred, but in terms of the actual play itself, no issues.
Coach, that looks like that's all we have for you.
Okay, thank you.
For your time.
Yes, sir.